Hello and welcome to this episode of the Be Free podcast. And we're back. Episode two, series two. As I said, we are going to be looking at decisions today and still here with the cough. Um, so I made a note because I really I had to make some decisions recently, um, and like within the past few months and stuff as well. And I just came to realize sometimes how freaking hard it can be to make a decision, how exhausting it can be, the mental load that's involved, the anxiety that can be involved. Um, and I just wanted to have a conversation around decision making, the implications it can have, and how to make it easier to make decisions because I don't know about you. Do you find making decisions easy? Maybe you do. Maybe you're just like, yeah, I know what's happening. I'm going for it. But, even with all my divine insight, all my intuitive ability, I do still have that part of me. It's like, oh my gosh, am I doing the right thing? Am I not doing the right thing? So yeah, but here's the deal. You could listen to this part and then not listen to the rest of the podcast. Often you don't know till you make the decision if it's the right one. And yeah, there you go. Stop it here. No, I'm only joking. Um, so I have made a number of decisions recently, and I just wanted to chat through the options around that. Um, and what happens like when we avoid making decisions and how we can really approach like big life decisions with clarity and make our lives a bit easier because our whole lives are a series of decisions, from the moment we like, what time do we wake up? Where do we wake up? What do we wear? What do we eat? Da 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 da. And as my estrogen began to decline in perimenopause and my ADHD symptoms began to increase in relation to the drop in estrogen. I just really became aware of the mental load and the fatigue. And I used to have to say to my husband, my daughter, just I cannot answer any more questions. Like the question has to be really deep and really meaningful because I only have this finite amount of decision capability now. And I want to save that for all the important shit, right? Like not just um where's the bread? I don't know. Whatever the question is. Where's the bread? Where's my t-shirt? Where should we go? Do you want to go for a walk? Do you want to drink this? Do you want to do that? Da 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 da. Da. Anyway, all too much for me. So then when it comes to the big decisions, I'm freaking exhausted and then I was procrastinating. So let me know. Do comment, do reach out, tell me, do you struggle with making decisions? Now, generally, I am pretty good at making decisions and making stuff happen. Like my clients, my friends, my family will tell you, I'm like, okay, this is what's happening, and I tend to just go and do it. Um, However, there have been decisions recently where that hasn't been the case, and I'm going to go through just like some real life examples with you, and then ways we can support ourselves. So, one of the decisions I made recently was the decision to move my horse to a new stables, and I toyed with this for quite some time because I loved where I was. It was close to my house. I loved the people. But there was just some things that I didn't feel quite fit right for my old boy. Like I wanted him to have a lovely retirement with lots of pony friends and all of that kind of jazz. So there was like some things that were mismatching. And I was kind of putting up with the stuff that didn't sit right with me. And I would just like keep going on. And then every month I'd think, oh, maybe I should think about this. 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 And I kept doing it. And I'm going to give you some other examples. My meditation classes. So I stopped teaching my meditation classes. Again, I was just going round and round in circles because I love teaching meditation, but I was also teaching my meditation and mindfulness teachers online. I was also supporting my metamorphosis group clients, also doing, like writing, getting my new meditation book out there, all of these things, and trying to do classes. And over the years, I spoke about this in last week's podcast, I have said to my husband so many times, really think I should focus online. Really think I should focus online. Really think I should focus online. Um, but I love meeting people and I love supporting people in that way. Um, so I kept doing it, kept doing it, kept doing it until um, I made that decision, right? And once I made that decision, it was fine. It was okay. Yes, it was challenging. Um, the other thing I've spoke about is social media. Recently was making a decision. This decision was more spur of the moment, so it wasn't like a long thought out one, whereby I was supposed to be going to something. I was feeling kind of off about it, and I but was just going to kind of keep the peace. And then in the moment when I was supposed to go, like the gut response in my body was so strong that it actually made me feel physically sick. It was like, don't go. And I was like, ugh. And then I had to say, I'm really sorry. I'm not going to go to that. And it caused a whole like hoo-ha, hoo-ha. And that was like really deeply uncomfortable for me. Like my people pleaser past self was like, oh my gosh, you're letting everyone down and all that kind of jazz. But actually, from a internal point of view, I felt so much growth and empowerment. And my body and my soul were like thanking me from the inside out, just like, yeah, girl, we are so proud of you. Well done, well done, well done. And then the other last decision I was going to mention is, and this is the one that actually spurred me on to think about this podcast. I'm changing platforms for where I host all my courses, my website, all of those things, because the company that I host it with has decided that they're going to put up their prices by 25%, and they are also going to take 1% commission on anything I earn. And I was already, and this is the thing with decisions, right? I had already before, like literally 2 days before, I was supporting one of my meditation and mindfulness teacher trainees set up her website and I was helping her and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I love like the space that you're on. And it was where I used to host my stuff. And I was saying to her, God, this is like so much better. Like I have been thinking about it, because I have been thinking it because it's already extortionate, the amount of money I pay every month for it. And the one that she was going to go to was like a fifth of what I was paying, I think, if I worked that out right. Um, so I was like, oh my gosh, there's like so many other great things out there. Why am I, you know, not making this shift? But I wasn't making this shift because it required a lot of mental load and a lot of things that I didn't know how to handle. Like I didn't know how to go and shift all my courses, my blogs, my web pages, all of this. So it was stopping me in my tracks of making the decision. I was going around the houses, like looking at all the different options, but then not making a decision. And then I get this email from my website people saying that, yeah, we're going to put it up by 25% and we're going to take 1% commission on everything you earn. And I was like, okay. Susie, you need to make the decision. And I made that decision. I hopped on a call with two different companies, and the second company were like, okay, we will like migrate everything for you. We'll speak to you every single day throughout the process so you can check in on it. Um, and off I went, gave them my card details, paid for a year up front, which was a mega investment. And yeah, that's in the process of happening. But the stress on my body from not making decisions was massive. So I want you to think about that. Like, think about things that are maybe going around your head. It could be something simple like we are waiting to get our kitchen and our utility room done. And then the other day I thought, God, just message the woman, just book the utility room stuff to get dropped off, Just send the email, do the thing. Because otherwise it's like going into your head all the time. Start like making the decision, when will I start the podcast? When will I start the podcast again? When will I start the podcast again? And that's why today, episode one was recorded and episode two is being recorded right now because I'm like, make the decision, do it, because the mental load in our lives is massive. We are exposed to so many bits of information and decisions that we need to make. As I mentioned, like from social commitments, timings, what do we eat, what do we wear, all of the things. And what I would say is all of these little micro decisions that we are making day in, day out prevent us from making the big decisions that actually matter because we're so freaking exhausted. Yeah, and decision fatigue is real. You know, you hear that about like Mark Zuckerberg and witness it in Simon Cowell. Watched a video of him on Instagram the other day. That was most amusing. They just wear the same clothes all the time. Like not actually the actual same ones because they're like millionaire billionaires and they have the same item multiple times. Like they don't have to think about it. Um, and I love that. Like I love that. Imagine that just going into your wardrobe. I did at one point think about putting my wardrobe in outfits. It never really lasted because, you know, you want to wear the yoga pants with a different jumper and it's on Thursday's hanger and yeah, it wasn't going to work. But anyway, lim capsule wardrobes, you know, there's all these things we can do to reduce these loads on our mental well-being. I know the lovely Rosie Barron, who had the Tidy Coup and is a professional declutterer, Marie Kondo trained. I remember speaking to her once about menu planning, and she would have the same menus, like 3 weeks of menus, and would just rotate them. So they would have the same stuff, but it would be like because it was split up over 3 weeks, it wouldn't feel like you were having the same stuff. But she then didn't have to think about what am I going to get from the supermarket on Tuesday. You have that shopping list for that week, that shopping list for the next week, that shopping list for the next week. And boom, your meals are all sorted. So yeah, the cognitive load of having all these tabs open in our brain of all these decisions that we need to make is just too much and it just kind of drains us. So thinking about these micro decisions. What micro decisions can you automate or remove to make your life easier? Is that menu planning? Um, you know, online delivery shopping. Love that because it's got all your usuals and it's amazing how much of the same stuff we buy like week in, week out. So doing an online shop, for example, I used to get HelloFresh, can't get it where I'm staying now, most disappointing. But you know, get HelloFresh or something like that to help you with that. Can you go through a ward like declutter your wardrobe so you can go in it and actually see what you've got and just, you know, take stuff out? Do you make your kids' lunches the night before, plan their lunches for the week? Can you, yeah, set up all your bills so they're all paid by standing order or direct debit so you don't even have to remember that? When a friend messages you for a date and is like, where are we going? Why don't you just make the decision and be like, yeah, let's go here, then, that time? Because otherwise, like that mental load of trying to get back to someone and think about it. I met my beautiful friend Annie last week and I was like, oh yeah, I will send you details of like these various supplements and like a bit of research about it. And then I never did it straight away. And then like literally every single day, I even wrote it in my diary, message Annie, message Annie, message Annie. And I'd be out for a walk and I'd be like, oh gosh, I was going to send Annie that stuff. So I voice noted her and just said, hey, really sorry, haven't sent you that. I will do it tonight. But that, you know, if we think about that, just that one thing, that one email that I needed to send, going round and round and round, and I must have thought about it, I don't know, about 20 times. So maybe if it's small decisions, can you just make that decision there and then? Take the action, make the decision, move on with your life. It's all good. Like there's some like, you know, what are you going to eat for breakfast? Maybe automate that as well. Okay, like I'm gonna have porridge today, I'm gonna have a smoothie, I'm gonna have a granola bowl, like whatever. Maybe you automate it. Maybe you prep it the night before so you don't have to think about it when you get up. I mean, how awesome is it when you've made like overnight oats and you go in the fridge and your breakfast bloody waiting for you? It's so good. You don't have to think about it. Um, so just begin to start taking action and taking decisions on all the small stuff so you have capacity for the bigger stuff. Um, so yeah, indecision, people say that no decision is still a decision. And it absolutely is because remain stuck. And nobody wants to feel stuck, right? We can only begin to grow and to move forward by consciously making decisions that align with us. And one of the things that I wrote down here was, yeah, like the mental load of decisions on my stress and my body, the mistrust and the detriment to myself. So when we're kind of going around houses and not making a decision, ultimately we are creating this mistrust within ourselves. Like it's like we don't seeing ourselves as capable. Gosh, I'm not capable of picking what to have for my lunch from the menu in the restaurant, or I'm not capable of deciding whether I should apply for that job or not. You are so capable of all the decisions. Like trust yourself and make those decisions. Don't sit there in rumination or anxiety, going round and round and round and round. You know, there's a lot of decisions I've made recently that I've actually just like felt a bit sick, leaving the stables where I was at, stopping my meditation classes, mentioning the last podcast, moving my business online. Like, oh, I felt sick, but in my heart, I knew that they were the right decisions to make. And I also know if it doesn't work out, I can change them, right? And that is the same for the majority of decisions, right? We moved house last year. There's some things now where I'm like, oh, I'd actually quite like to live in the country again. Well, not right in the country, but there's things. But I'm like, if you're not happy in the future, you can move. Like, and when we were trying to decide which house to move to, my like friends, one of my best friends, Emma, my sister Emma, both said to me, like, it doesn't have to be your forever home. Move for what's right for you right now. And I remember thinking, oh God, but it's such a big decision. And no, most decisions, other than like, maybe if you like leaving a relationship or something, then maybe that's slightly different. Like, that might not be able to change or go back on. But, a lot of the time, the only way we can see if the decision is the right thing is by taking action and just doing that thing. Um, so yeah. Well, yeah, what was I wanting to say? Indecision is still a decision. The emotional cost. Um, God, staying stuck and the time wasted. It's like, oh my gosh. So 5 years in the making it took to get my meditation and mindfulness teacher training program done. Like I'm writing a book just now that I've procrastinated on. I started that book 3 years ago. I have released another book in the interim. But just ruminating the time going round and round and round and round. Like, even when we decided to sell our last house, we were looking at all these different options of will we extend it? Will we do this? Will we do that? We went through planning permission, we'll do this, we'll do that. And then ultimately we're like, why don't we just move house? It's like, oh, hadn't thought of that one aspect. We were trying to make ourselves fit in something that wasn't quite working for our family at that time. Um, so yeah, the longer we don't make a decision, the less we trust ourselves and it just begins to erode over time. So have a think just now. Are there decisions that you need to make? Are there just actions that you need to take? Gather any info that you need to and then make the decision. So yeah, I have like in my little book here all the stuff about the web services, what I was looking for, who can provide what. And then I just made the decision, weigh up the pros and cons. You can have a pro and con list. Like we did that for houses that we were viewing, like have the pros and cons and what meets what things. Um, and then another really great way to tune in and see if something is right for you is to visualize. So tune into your body and just visualize, okay, if I make this decision, how will I feel in 6 months' time? If I don't make this decision, How will I feel in 6 months' time? Or if this opportunity passes me by, how will I feel? And trust your body. Really, really tune in to how it feels in your body. Trust the emotions that arise, any sensations. Um, and yeah, check if that is for you. Also, connect with meditation and mindfulness. Ask yourself when you're in that quieter spaces, ask yourself when you're out for a nature walk, tune in and see what it is. So I wouldn't recommend, excuse me, speaking to too many people, getting too much advice, because ultimately everyone will have different opinions. And at the end of the day, it comes down to what's right for you. So maybe speak to a couple of people you trust or people who are specialists in a particular area. But please do trust yourself and take action on that. And that is where the beauty really, really lies. Um, Yeah, even if so yeah, so say you make a decision and you're like, "Oh shit. Like I have really, excuse all my language on here, cocked up." Um, you know, can't like every decision is a learning experience as well. Maybe like, oh God, maybe I shouldn't have done that. And that's okay. You can learn and now you're like, okay, now I know what to do. Right? So yeah. So what I would say is try and limit the small everyday decisions that we make in our lifetime. Create quiet spaces for yourself so you can allow the answers to come in. You can tune into your body. If it's a bigger decision, take your time, but not too long. Find out what you need to find out and then just make the decision. Just take action on it. Like, is this going to cost me a lot of whatever time, effort, money? Is it going to have like a massive impact on myself and those around me? Like, obviously, the decision as to which breakfast cereal to buy over which car or house to buy is a very different decision, right? So weigh it all up, but do take your time. So what I would say in conclusion on this beautiful episode is indecision is really detrimental. And I would encourage you all, if there is stuff that you're sitting on, just to create that space and make that decision and start moving forward. Don't stay stuck. Don't stay anxious. Don't stay going round the houses, going round. I've said that phrase quite a few times in this podcast, but the mental load is just too much. And having made these big decisions, I feel like my life is a way to just like catapult. Like my life has changed so much, just from making some bigger decisions. So hopefully that helps you. Let me know if you do struggle with decisions. As I said, tune into your body, make that time and space, really tap into your desired outcome. Like, what is it I truly desire? What dreams do I want? How do I want to feel? And just make the decisions in alignment with that, either with your current version of yourself or your future version, but not your past self. And that is the mistakes that we all make, is we make these decisions from these past versions of ourselves, and we're like, no, I'm not that person anymore. So let's be conscious, let's make some decisions. Um, and create beautiful, conscious, aligned action in our lives. I hope that that supports you today. Thank you so much for joining me again on this journey. I am sending you all so, 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 so much love. Do reach out to me. Please like, subscribe, rate it, share it with your friends. Honestly, like, it's just me here in my podcast with my beautiful daughter, editing in the background, and the lovely Jen is now going to do my show notes. So prior to that, it was just, yeah, just me and Erin in the background. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We have got no executive producers. We've got no snazzy stuff like that over here. So follow us, like us, share your love with us, and we will share our love with you. Anyway, I shall go. I love you guys. I will be back. And thank you for episode 2.